Welcome to the Divorce Angel podcast, and thank you for joining us. Get ready to uncover the strategies everyone can implement for a successful separation and divorce. This will save you valuable time, money and emotions while learning the secrets to your happily ever after. And now your host, my wife, Tanya Summerton.
Welcome back to the Divorce Angel podcast. I'm so happy that you can be with me today. I'm just loving doing this podcast. I truly am. And I've gone back and listened to some of the old ones, and there's just such a difference in my voice because I don't know, it's just so rewarding. I love it. So what I wanted to have a chat today about was something that's personal to me. I wanted to talk about the lessons that I learnt from my relationship breakdown. And they could be something that you could learn as well. So depending on where you are in your relationship breakup, I want you to understand that if you have not even left, or if you've already left and you're in the very dark bit of the relationship breakdown, that it will be okay. So if I can tell you what I learned and how my life's turned around, maybe you will know that everything will be okay. And my mentor says something that goes along the lines of this: it always was, is, and will be okay. And that's what I want you to understand as well, because it's true. When you're in it, you can't see that it's going to end, but it will end. So the lessons that I learned from my relationship breakdown are I'm stronger than I ever thought possible. When I look back to my childhood and the person I was and where I fitted in the family and the relationship breakdown that my parents had, I don't know, I just never thought that I had the power to leave an unhappy relationship. I remember when my first husband and I started going out together, I recalled saying to him that before we get married, we need to live together because I never want to get divorced. I want to make sure that you are the right person for me. So I thought by just living with him for a year before we got married that I would learn all of his habits and the things that I didn't like and make sure that he was the forever person for me. Little did I know that as we got older and we grew different ways, that we would grow apart, or that our aligned values, especially after you have children, unaligned values, because we voted different political parties. He believed in certain things that I didn't believe in, and those things at the start weren't a problem. But at the end, the longer we'd been together, they were just grating, especially for me, every time he spoke about something, because I thought the opposite. Just was too hard. Like, life needs to be easy. And I just thought, I'm not strong enough to do this. And out of my 22-year marriage, probably for the first 16 years, I really did love him, and I thought we would be together forever. But probably it took me probably 6 years to have enough courage to leave, because I just didn't think I was strong enough. I didn't think I can do it. And as I've spoken about on previous podcasts, what I know now, they were just stories I was telling myself, stupid stories. I was strong enough. But the key was I needed to have a plan. And if I had a plan, it would make everything easier. And it's one of the biggest issues that I see today, that people don't think through the consequences. And that's why we do a divorce roadmap, because if you've got a plan, you've got the knowledge and you know what steps you need to take, and it can make all of the difference. The other lesson I learned was I used to think I'm not smart enough. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. My ex-husband was very clever, and we could go to the supermarket and I would have a trolley full of groceries, and he would be able to add up what the groceries would come to before even the cash register could. So my feeling, because we got married so young, was that I can't do this by myself. I'm not smart enough to do this. And it's such a silly thing to do, because when I look back, I was the one that encouraged him to start his own business. I went and sourced the funding for that to happen. I went and found the house that we ultimately lived in and helped renovate it. There was so much that I just did not give myself credit for. And because he was book smart, I just thought I was not smart enough. But, what I know now is tenacity and drive get you so far in the world. I've seen people that are highly, highly intelligent, but cannot talk to other people, or just because they've got an MBA in something does not mean that they are any better than I am. And when I was at the airport, something that was a big turning moment for me would be when we had the Dalai Lama come through. We had, stars, and all the time there was always someone walking through. And I remember the CEO at the time said to me, "Tanya, I've never known anyone that treats every person the same." So it didn't matter if it was the Dalai Lama. It did not matter if it was the cleaner or it was the person on the crossing. I treated everyone the same, with the same respect that I was taught by my parents and grandparents to show on everyone else. We are all smart in a different way, is probably the truth of the matter. Everyone's got these abilities, special gifts that we bring to the world, and those things we bring to the world make us individuals. So just because I might not be able to add up a trolley full of food does not mean that I am not smart. And I look back now and I see what I've done. I've written a book. I started 2 businesses. I've been able to support myself. I went and did a job that put my life at risk and had an AFP risk assessment against me, which, sorry, for those overseas, is the Australian Federal Police. But I was able to do all of those things all by myself. Yet I had this story before I left my relationship that I was not smart. The other lesson that I learned was how resourceful I could be. So there's a difference between resources and resourceful. And when you have resources, that's things that you are able to get your hands on very quickly. So that could be money. So you have money that you can go and buy things with. But resourcefulness is when you are able to use your own abilities and skills to get further in life. And I did not understand the power of being resourceful. I recently did an exercise where I had to go over what I thought were all my values in life. And I've always thought that one of my greatest values was tenacity. And tenacity and resourcefulness sort of were aligned for me in some way. And when I did my values, I realized that actually tenacity, while it might be one of my top 10 values, it really wasn't as big a driver as I thought. But my resourcefulness has been key to where I am today. We live in the most amazing world. Resources are easy to find. With the internet, the answers to nearly every question out there is at our fingertips. But we need to understand, firstly, what it is that we're looking for, and then we have the ability to go and find it. That was another lesson that was key to me, how resourceful I actually am and what I can actually do with those resources. So the other big, massive lesson that I learned was that I'm lovable. Because before I left my relationship, I just had this void in my gut of emptiness. I just wanted to feel what love was all about. So even though at the time my ex-husband said that he loved me, because I didn't love him in return, there was just this emptiness in me that just, it was barren. I can't even tell you how much it hurt to have this void in myself. But when I decided to leave, I remember thinking, no one will ever love me again. Why would someone love me? I'm going to be divorced. I'm not good enough. Once again, all of the silly stories that went through my mind. No one is going to love me. Well, that's simply not true. But it is what I thought. And it was one other reason it was keeping me in this relationship. I'm not lovable. I'm broken. I'm not okay. I'm not able to keep a marriage together. So there's got to be something wrong with me, right? No, that's all wrong. But at the time, with my limited resources, I thought that this was all true. And it's not. It's BS. The other lesson that I learned was that I am a good person. I remember thinking, and when you're having a discussion about breaking up, words get said and words have consequences. And of course, without knowing it, we are hurting the other person. And, I would think I'm not a good person for wanting to leave this relationship. I'm not a good person because I'm not only breaking his heart, I'm breaking the children aren't going to have their mother and father living together. My in-laws, what are they going to think? What are our friends going to think? Like all of these things that went through my mind. But I don't look back now and go, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have a good life. I am a good person. But at that particular moment in time for me, I kept thinking to myself, I'm bad. This is not good. I'm going to upset everyone's life by my decision. And I now look back and I am a good person, but I didn't realize it at the time. The biggest lesson of all, and that lesson is that I can be happy. So looking back now and, the years have passed, I'm the happiest person I've been as long as I can remember. And I did a podcast on this a few weeks ago. The way that when you're happy, you make better decisions in your life and things just seem to happen. Like when you're happy, good stuff happens in return. Without even knowing it, whether it be the universe or whatever, it just throws other really important things your way because you're making steps in improving not only my life, but the people around me. So my happiness flows on to my children, to my parents, to my husband, to people I come in contact with. Like my happiness is contagious. And I didn't think that I could ever be happy again. I knew that I wanted to leave because I was looking to be happy, because I was so unhappy. And the lesson that I learned is that we are a reflection of our environment. Let me say that again. We are a reflection of our environment. So if you're living in an unhappy household right now, you have to be unhappy because you can't be any other way. So you need to get out of it. And you deserve to be happy, just like I do. You deserve however your life is meant to be. So don't think that just because you've got a bigger picture and it doesn't align to what other people think, that you need to be kept small. You can do and be whatever you want to be. And so when I accumulate all of these lessons together, so I'm not strong enough and I can't do this, I'm not smart, I'm not resourceful, I'm not lovable, I'm not a good person, and I can't be happy, I can be all of those things plus more. So can you. So they're the lessons that I took away from that period of my life where things were pretty bad. and how I've turned all of that around to make good. And you can do the same thing. You've got the ability to do the same thing. So ask yourself, what are the lessons that you are learning right now in your life? What are the lessons that are occurring in front of you right now that are teaching you something to make your future better? Because you might not realizing it. When you're going through it, you just go, no, this is just all bad. But remember what I've said, I've spoke about it now over and over again. These are just stories that you are telling yourself. And there's lessons in everything that is occurring right now in your life. And those lessons are teaching you something to have a better existence. Consider all of that. So I hope my lessons, if you're going through a separation right now, might give you the ability to understand that around the corner is something simply amazing for you. Your life can be whatever you want it to be. And you are everything that you can be. What does that mean? It means right now inside of you, you are everything you can be. You have everything inside of you to make you happy and successful. You just have to dig deep and find it. But everything is there. It's all there, I promise you. That's it for this week. Have the most amazing week and be happy, and just know that life is good. You can just have the most amazing life if you choose to, and it's all about choice. It's all about the stories you tell yourself and stopping the negativity. So have a great week, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.